correlate with some outside independent criteria. Norms in testing refers to standards or benchmarks against which an individual's performance can be compared. Characteristics of a good norms in testing include representativeness. Norms should be derived from a sample that is representative of the population being tested, ensuring accuracy in comparison. Second is a validity. Norms should be accurately reflect the construct being measured by the test. Third is the reliability. Norms should be based on reliable data, ensuring consistency and stability over time and across different populations. Fourth one is applicability. Norms should be relevant to the population for which the test is intended, considering factors such as age, gender, and cultural background. Recentness. Norms should be up to date, reflecting current characteristics of the population, such as norms can change over time. Sixth one, sufficient sample size. Norms should be based on a sufficiently large sample size to ensure reliability and generalization ability of the data. Seventh one is accessibility. Norms should be easily accessible to test users, allowing for proper interpretation and application of test results. Eighth one is ethical consideration. Norms should be obtained ethically, ensuring confidentiality and privacy of individual data. Ninth one is comparability. Norms should allow for comparisons across different groups or populations, enabling meaningful interpretations of test scores. Tenth one is the transparency. Norms should be transparently documented, including information about the sample, characteristics, and the methods used to derive the norms. A test must also be guided by certain norms. Norms refer to average performance of representative sample on a given test. There are four common types of norms. First one is the age norm, second is a grade norm, third is a percentage norm, fourth one is the standard score norm. Depending upon the purpose and use, a test constructor prepares any of the questionnaire from the above norms of this test. Norms help in interpretation of the score. In the absence of norms, no meaning can be added to the score obtained on the test. So next is the practicability. A test must also be practicable from the point of view of the time taken in its completion, length, scoring, etc. In other words, the test should not be lengthy and scoring method must not be difficult, nor one which can only be done by highly specialized person. General steps of the test construction. First one is a planning, second is a writing items for the test, third one is preliminary administration of the test, fourth one is reliability of the final test, fifth one is the validity of the final test, sixth one is preparation of norms for the final test, seventh one is preparation of manual and reproduction of the test, eighth one is the planning. Objective of the test. The author has to spell out the broad and specific objectives of the test in clear terms, that is, prospective users. For example, vocational counselors, clinical psychologists, educationalists, and the purpose or for which they will use the test. Next is the content of the test. What will be the content of the test? Is this content coverage different from the existing test developed for the same or similar purpose? Is the cultural specific? Test format. Author has to decide what would be the nature of the items, that is to decide if the test will be multiple choice, true or false, intensive response, or on some other form. Test administration. Whether the test would be administered individually or in a group. Will the test be designed or modified for computer administration? A detailed agreement for preliminary and final administration should be considered. So how test will be administered should be discussed. Next is interpretation of scores. How will the scores be interpreted? Will the scores of an examinee be compared to others in the criteria group, or will they be used to assess mastery or specific content area? To answer this question, the author has to decide whether the proposed test will be criterion referenced or norm referenced. Characteristics of a good item. Clarity. An item should be praised in such a manner that there is no ambiguity regarding its meaning for both the item writer as well as the examinees who take the test. Moderately difficult. The item should not be too easy or too difficult for the examinee to understand. Discriminating power. It must have discriminating power, that it must clearly distinguish between those who possess the trait and those who do not. To the point, it should not be concerned with the trivial aspects of the subject matter. That is, it must only measure the significant aspects of knowledge or understanding, not encourage guesswork. As far as possible, it should not encourage guesswork by the subjects. Clear in reading. It should not be present any difficulty in reading. Independence for its meaning. It should not be such that its meaning is independent upon another item and or it can be answered by referring to another.